All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory and honor and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Racha, Kodash, Brakathum. Double honor to my apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to the occupant of four corners, pushing this truth in all sincerity, love, diligence, respect, fear, and trembling. As I tell I'm coming back with achievements for the knowledge through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And I pray and hope that this is edifying to hope for the elect. Okay. And as you can see the title, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, of the whole earth. And that is a quote from Zechariah, the 5th chapter. Okay. Now, what you see on the screen, you can see, and that this was May 17th. May 17th, 2022 of this year. So let's say about a little under a month ago, maybe like 3 weeks ago, because today is June 13th. So a little under a month. And this is a House Intelligence Subcommittee holds open hearing on UFOs. Now, those that are in the know, the so-called UFOs, or the unidentified flying objects, as Esau says they are, or gives it the title, these are the chariots of Israel. Okay, these are the vehicles of the angels and a vehicle of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He's going to come in a so-called UFO. Okay, they've been identified by the prophets, okay, which are the chariots of Israel. And this is a subcommittee, and I've been watching this maybe for like the last 2 days. I actually finished it today, a couple hours ago. So through the spirit, I want to, jump in and do a lesson on it, because there's been tons and tons of quote unquote UFO sightings, chariots. Okay. In fact, the elder Karatazai had just did something on it. Actually just posted a video of it over I believe the Vegas camp, which we see the chariots all the time. They've been everywhere, man. Okay, they've been appearing and popping up more and more because we know that we are close to the end right now. Okay, and the chariots always played a big part in history of the Israelites, especially dealing with deliverance and as well as destruction. So we're coming up on them times where the Lord is finna make his move, and these devils, okay, now these devils in this subcommittee, see, they couldn't hide it. There's too much evidence that these things exist. Okay. So they couldn't hide it. Now they're doing all this research and study and intelligence on the chariots. Ultimately, they're going to try to fight who the world calls Jesus Christ, who Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai, right? Yah meaning he, Yahweh Shai meaning deliverer. He delivers. Okay. And he's going to come and deliver the Israelites, beginning with the hopeful elect. Now, Esau Edom is trying to fight against the Lord. When you go into Revelation, the 12th chapter speaks about Satan, the dragon and his angels, all right, and then Michael and his angels, speaking about EU, NATO, all right, that's the dragon, all right, with that coalition fighting for us, all nations, a multitude of different nations, the NATO military, right? And they're going to try to fight against the Lord when he returns. This is why they're doing all this surveillance and intelligence and seeing what they can do and things like that. But first and foremost, let me get this precept. Okay, let's get some scriptures in here. I got a few clips that I want to show, maybe an article and some precepts. So I'm going to get right to it. This is Jeremiah 10:2. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them." See, the heathen is what? Dismayed, meaning they fear the signs of heaven. Okay. with them trying to search in the signs of heaven. Part of the signs of heaven is the appearings of the chariots. Okay, it says the heathens are dismayed at the meaning. The heathens fear what's finna come to this earth. Okay, which are the chariots. I'm gonna get that word dismayed. Okay, dismayed. Okay, kathath. Okay, it says dismayed, to be shattered, be dismayed, be broken, be abolished, be afraid. This is what the word dismayed actually means. In fact, let's do this. Let's get dismayed. Yeah, dismayed.
Dismayed.
Having the emotion of dismay, struck with fear, dread, or consternation. What's consternation? Consternation, a state of great alarm, agitation, okay, astonishment combined with terror, amazement that confounds the faculties and incapacities of deliberate thought and action, extreme surprise with confusion and panic. Woo, that's a hell of a definition. So the heathen are dismayed at the signs of heaven, which are the chariots, okay, because the elites know what these are coming to do. The elites know the history of the chariots, okay, and what they can do, how they can operate. And us men of the Lord, the prophets, we know what they're about. See, the chariots have a two, has a two. But I'm not gonna say two because guess what? The chariots, the angels actually power up the chariots. That's in Ezekiel, okay. But I like to say that the chariots have this two mechanism, which is destruction and deliverance. Throughout the scriptures, we've seen how King David in Psalms, I believe the 19th or the 18th chapter, he was delivered by the chariots. Elijah was lifted up by the chariots. Yahushua was lifted up by the chariots. So this has the chariots of Israel has a deliverance mechanism that is going to take place soon, okay, as well as the destruction, okay. So let's so I'll put this in the description box. You know, they go over certain things. They don't get into too much detail in here, just that they're trying to figure out what's going on. And a lot of stuff they say is classified that they can't speak about because the in crowd knows that those are the angels. Okay, the in crowd knows that that's the face that goeth forth over the, that's the curse that goeth forth over the face of the earth. Okay, the in crowd, I mean, I'm talking about the elites. Okay, these people, see, these people, they're gonna be destroyed. They're not gonna, you know, make it out of here. But the elites, they know that the chariots are on its way. That's why they make movies like Independence Day, you know, so they can feel that they'll have a fighting chance. But ultimately, we know that they won't. So check this out. I want to bring up this video because he's gonna speak things that is written in Ezekiel, the first chapter, on how the angels or the chariots, or they call them UAPs, which is unidentified aerial phenomenals. He's gonna go into on how they maneuver. Okay, so I'm gonna let him say what he gotta say. It may be like 2 to 3 minutes. I may cut it and go ahead and jump into Ezekiel, the first chapter. Okay, but let's listen to this.
Ranges like Area 51. And you certainly don't endanger pilots' lives by testing this type of secret technology without coordinating that through our joint staff. So we very quickly realized it wasn't our technology. The second option, as Charlie mentioned, is it foreign adversarial technology? Is it Russian? Is it Chinese? And of course, when you go through the historical documentation, certainly in our country, this documentation is official documentation. One realizes very quickly we've been seeing this technology for decades. And when you compare that to where we were, let's say in the late 1940s and 50s, we were just exploring and learning the secrets of the atom. We were unlocking its secrets. We had just entered the jet age, and we hadn't even been into space. And yet these technologies were outperforming anything and everything that we have.
So Esau is not going to be able to do nothing with the chariots, man. Okay, Esau is is this. Hold on, I put it up here somewhere. Is it this? Space Force is officially. Yep, no, that's the spirit. Uh, the Space Force is officially the sixth branch, the sixth military branch. Okay, here's what that means. So back in 19, I said 19. What the hell I'm talking about? Back in December 2019, Trump, and this isn't just Trump. This goes back to Eisenhower and all those other past presidents in the 90s. They were trying to make um, a space force military branch, okay, which I guess you could say has been completed, so to speak, or been I would say it's been made known to the public during Trump's administration. Okay, they've always had these secret operations and intelligence programs that the people never knew, such as something called Project Blue Book. All right. Now this was a study going back to the 1950s or 49, and you just heard him say it. They didn't have that type of technology capability. Okay, so they created something called the Project Blue Book, right? So they can try to study and research on the chariots. So in fact, let me just read a little bit of this. It said the United States Air Force, and now Lord willing, if I remember, I'll put this in the description box as well. This is the archives.gov/research/military/Air Force/UFOs. Okay. The United States Air Force retired to the custody of the National Archives its records on Project Blue Book relating to the investigations of unidentified flying objects. Project Blue Book has been declassified and the records are available for examination in our research room. The project closed in 1969 and we have no information on sightings after that date. Bullshit. Okay, closed to the public. Okay, because remember, and I know people who were paying attention on the situation that happened in what is it, 1952? Where is it at? Where we at? I got a lot. Here we go. Yep, 1952, when the chariots were over Washington. Okay, look at that. Now Esau's technology wasn't developed. Okay, so these are the chariots of Israel. These are the angels, man. Okay, yeah, they used to call them flying saucers. It was a big talk about this stuff, right? And then it just disappeared. Then they began to make movies for entertainment, you know. So that's it on that. Just to show that real quick. But let's go back here. I want to kind of run a speed read it. Where I leave off. Project Bluebeam has been declassified and the records are available for examination in our research room. The project closed in 1969 and we have no information on sightings after that date. The National Archives have received numerous inquiries concerning documents identified as MJ12 and briefing document Operation Majestic 12, which I haven't looked at. Maybe I have to go into that, see what I can, information wise. We have made extensive research among the records in our custody of the Air Force and the Joint Chief of Staff to identify these documents. The Truman, yeah, that's who I was thinking about. The Truman and Eisenhower libraries have also researched their holdings for any reference to or copies of the documents. In addition, the records of the National Security Council, the NSC, for the Truman and Eisenhower administrations are in custody of the National Archives. Searches were made of the index in the NSC's policy paper and meeting minute files under the subjects MJ12. Okay, searches were all negative with the exception of memorandum of General Twining from Robert Coulter, special assistant to the president. Blah 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 blah. So basically, these are just reports Now they said that they cut the reports, but we know Esau's the devil. He ain't cutting no reports. They just didn't bring it out to the public anymore. That's it. That's all. Because they're in fear. This devil is in fear. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. All right? Meaning they're terrified. Okay? Because they know, the elites of them know, they can't control it and they know that they're going to be destroyed. They make the movies like Independence Day, this whole Area 51 phenomenon, bull BS, that they have some type of space shuttle or some type of higher intelligent technology there that they capture, which is all fairy tale bullshit. Okay. And by the way, he breaks this down, damn well these devils would never get a hold of that. All right. Now let me play this real quick.
And so, if this was some sort of foreign adversarial technology that's been around for 70 years, this would be considered probably the worst intelligence failure my country has ever experienced, perhaps even eclipsing that of 9/11 on an order of magnitude. So, the last option is, well, if it's not our technology and it's not some sort of foreign adversarial technology, then whose or what is it? And that's where we are now in the conversation, certainly with our law.
I remember the first sale I got from someone I didn't know, and I was like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Like, how did they find us?
Lawmakers, our legislative branch, and our executive branch. And so that's precisely what we're trying to figure out now is what exactly are these if they're not ours?
So what's the most persuasive, documented UAP encounter that you can talk about?
Sure, first of all, it's a great question. It's also a loaded question because there's a lot I can't talk about, which to me is probably even more persuasive if you had a chance to see just some.
And the thing is, when have you known for Edomites and these devils? I believe 2 years ago, the Pentagon had announced that UFOs are real. The reason being that all this information is coming out because these things have. What is that? The scripture says. What is secret? Because they tried to hide the fact that the chariots were real with this animated Star Trek and all of that. But now they're making a Space Force military branch. And some of the things in the titles of it resembles Star Trek, So Esau been new. But what's the scriptures? Covered. Goodness, I don't know why. Covered, revealed. Here we go. This is Matthew 10:26. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. Luke 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So where we're at in time is that the Lord is revealing to the world on the chariots of Israel, man. Because ultimately, these is gonna come and crack the clouds, man. Just like this movie, Independence Day. Just like with this movie, Independence Day, right? This is gonna happen. This is that Zechariah 5. This is the curse that goes forth over the face of the whole earth. There we go. Woo! Hold on, let's go back to that. Look at that. Let's get a precept. This is Ezekiel. Okay, this is a vision that the prophet Ezekiel was given. Okay, so let's just jump to it. It says Ezekiel 1 and 4, and I looked and beheld. Let me see. I'll go here. Verse 3, Ezekiel 1 and 3. The word of the Lord Yahweh came expressly unto Ezekiel, the priest, the son of Buzai, in the land of the Chaldeans, by the river Chebar, and the hand of the Lord Yahweh was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself. And a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber out of the midst of the fire. Is this not what these damn devils is depicting right here? This is Ezekiel 1 and 4 right here. All right. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, because the clouds are the chariots. Okay, let me get that. Psalms 104. Let's get that real quick. Psalms 104. Psalms 104 and 3. It says, who lay up the beams of his chambers in the waters? Who maketh the clouds his chariot? Who walketh upon the wings of the wind? Who maketh the clouds his chariot? See? Okay. The same scenario happened when Elijah was delivered. And they said the chariots of Israel. Okay. The chariots have many names. It's a chariot, a cloud, all right, a mountain, all right, a whirlwind. So the chariots are the clouds. So let's go back to Ezekiel. A great cloud and a fire enfolding itself, and brightness was about it, and about the midst thereof was the color of amber out of the midst of the fire. And this is how Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, this is how he's going to return. See, if y'all want to know, if you want to do the intelligent research, hey, watch the prophets. You'll know exactly what the so-called UFOs are. You'll know perfectly well. Okay? It says, Acts 1 and 9, it says, and when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And this is speaking about who the world calls Jesus Christ, right? We all know this Acts when he was lifted up in a cloud. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which is what? The angels. Which also say, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you unto heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. Okay? So this is how Yahushua is going to return. And these devils are in fear of the second coming of the Lord, because he's coming with clouds. He's coming with the chariots to destroy. Okay? And I'm going to get some more on the clouds. In fact, why not? Let's get it right now. Let's get it right now. This is Revelations 1, and let's get to the point. I don't want to make this too long. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds. See, he comes with who? He come with the angels. See? Yahushua is going to come with the angels. He's going to come with the chariots. And every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Aman Tawab. See? Even those devils that pierced them in a regeneration, they're going to be back here. And 9 times out of 10, this is just me, I'm speaking as a man, they're probably in some type of high-class military. Right? And they may be in the little whatever the fuck Esau has, the jets or fighter jets or whatever it is he's going to try to use to fight against Yahushua. They may be top men in the Navy. They may be men that's going to enlist in the new Space Force, And Yahweh Shah is gonna put it right in their mind. Remember me, you know, and he's gonna destroy their ass, man. All right. And vocab Malone, what is this talking about? And they also which pierced him, seeing that the Lord was crucified 2,000 years ago, right? If the Lord was crucified 2,000 years ago, how would those men that pierced him see him on his second coming? Reincarnation is in the Bible, man. But that's nonetheless for another time. But behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. See? And all kingdoms of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Aman Tuwa. So these clouds, and that they put in these movies, these chariots, or these quote unquote UFOs, they're finna make a grand entry. This is a grand entry right here. Okay? But let me stop talking. Let's go back to this. The Pentagon, they announced the UFOs was real. But let's go back to what this dude is talking about. We're gonna go back into Ezekiel. Let me put this right next to this video. Okay.
Some of this data. What I can talk about is probably the most famous case that we had. It was in 2004. It involved the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group. This is a nuclear-powered, if you will, aircraft carrier, along with a fleet of other vessels, nuclear-powered, and in some cases submarines. And so they were doing what they call workups, or they were practicing before going out on a deployment. And they were out in 2004 in November, conducting operations off the coast of San Diego, California. And there you have one of the escort ships with the latest Spy 1 radar capability beginning to pick up some sort of weird anomaly. In fact, not only was it the USS Princeton at the time with this brand new radar system looking at this, which one could argue maybe was a radar glitch, but you also had an E-2 Hawkeye that was also in the air providing airborne radar. And both are now looking at some sort of object, we'll call it an object, coming in from 80,000 feet and within less than a second, now hovering 50 feet over the water. So certainly something very perplexing. So perplexing, in fact, that we decided to go ahead.
Let's go back. He said within seconds. This is the swiftness of the angels, the swiftness of the chariots. Go back a tad bit.
At some sort of object, we'll call it an object, coming in from 80,000 feet and within less than a second, now hovering 50 feet over the water. So certainly something very perplexing. So perplexing, in fact, that we decided to go ahead and
80,000 feet,
now hovering 50 feet at some sort of object, we'll call it an object, coming in from 80,000 feet and within less than a second, now hovering 50 feet over the water.
80,000 feet, less than a second. Less than a second, 50 feet. That's the swiftness of the angels, and that's in Ezekiel, the first chapter, when it speaks about one of the likenesses of the living creatures was an eagle. Okay, now let's get it. That's swift. You can't possibly be able to fuck with that. It's impossible. Let's read verse 4 again. Man, that's deja vu. I did this before. Ezekiel 1:4. And I looked and beheld a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding in itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Okay. And I have some pictures of the clouds, chariots that look like clouds. Well, I don't know if you bros remember this. This was a couple of years ago. I believe it was on RT that it was a chariot or UFO over the earth. You see that orb right there? That this whole image right here. Let's see if I can blow it up. This right here, it's a chariot. Look how big that chariot is, man. And look how small they is when they come into our atmosphere, our zone, our heaven here, right? Come on, man. They have many sizes. But what I was looking for? Okay, clouds. Look at that. I was trying to look for some good videos, but I guess the pictures would do better. See? Look at this right here. I don't know if this is fake or not. I believe it's to be real. Come on, Joe. Come on. Okay, it's not letting me click on the full image, but that's called to But we know how they look like clouds. We've seen them. Okay? We've seen them. Look at this one. Look at that one. Oh, and speaking of swiftness, remember years ago, UFO over, damn, it was somewhere in the Middle East. Was it the Mosque? Was it Israel? Let me see. Yeah, the dome, right? I believe it was the dome, and yep, and it shot up because he just gave a testimony on it from going from 80,000 feet to 50 feet in a second. Let's type it in here, and we can actually see it and witness it ourselves. I want to go to a good video, but I guess this will suffice. 11 years ago, I remember this.
Not alone in the universe. UFO in the form of a bright light is seen descending over the dome of the rock in Jerusalem. The video
a lot of stuff kicked off. A lot of stuff kicked off in 2011 after this situation, because the angels, man, they put out an energy, and the angel controls the minds of the people. Okay, so don't forget that. Okay, the angels put that spirit out. The angel is the one who's controlling this realm, so to speak, right along with the Yahweh, of course. But the angels, they get busy down here, man. Okay.
Then suddenly the light shoots up into the sky.
Look at that.
Another video from a different angle appears to show the light doing the same thing. Those clips have gone viral now.
See? That's the swiftness.
The video is said to be taken over the weekend. Then suddenly the light shoots up into the sky. You see it. Another video from a different angle appears to show the light doing the same.
Esau, you can't do nothing with that, man. Your ass is grass, bro. Your ass is grass. It's Ezekiel 1:5. It says, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. Okay? Which, remember, this is a vision. Okay? So this is a resemblance of something. Okay? And this was the appearance. They had the likeness of a man. Okay? A likeness of a man, which that represents intelligence, wisdom, okay, and as well as when they come on earth, they come into the likeness of a man. In fact, I just read in Acts to prove that. Where'd it go? I just read in Acts. In fact, let's go back. Acts 1, the likeness of a man. When they came to Lot, they were men. Okay. Here we go. Acts 1:10. It says, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel. So the men, these were angels. So when it says likeness of a man, the angels come in likeness of men, and that man. And the man actually represents intelligence, and he's going to go into how the angels are intelligent, right? But let's keep going. It says, and every one had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. Okay, and their feet were straight feet, and their soles of their feet were like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. So they had a color. Okay, they were black. It was a goodness. I can't think of the dude's name, an Edomite. who was a part of the Navy, and they've silenced him for some years, but he came out and said that the angels were black. Okay, and he said it just like that. I don't mean to drag it out, but if I'm gonna say something, I want to kind of prove it. Um, um, oh shit! I said chariots. I meant UFOs. Let's see if I can get it where that the reporter said it. If I'm not mistaken, the Elder Karatazaba, he had put up a show, old, I believe from the 90s possibly, on how they were going and grabbing up all melanated people. I know what I just typed in, probably. I honestly don't know what the hell I can put in. Navy vet sees black people in UFO. Shit, I don't know how to fucking. Navy pilot describes encounters with UFOs. It was this old Edomite dude, man. I did a lesson on the other channel, but it was took it out. I don't know how I should even word it right now. Yeah, I'm gonna search it out. I'm gonna search it out later. Call to while. Let's get back. So it said polished brass, right? Burnished brass, right? And they had the hands of a man under wings on their four sides, and they four had their faces in their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went every one straight forward. So they didn't have to turn like we turn to walk. They just hover. They just can move. You know, as for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man and the face of a lion. Okay, the lion is a representation of the fierceness. Okay, the dreadful. Okay, in the right side, and they four had the face of an ox. Okay, and we know oxes. When you study about an ox is one of the strongest creatures. Animals, I should say. Okay, so they had a face of an ox. On the left side, they four also had the face of an eagle. Okay, so you have intelligence, wisdom, you have fierceness and dread. This is the likeness and the strength that the angels come in. Then you have an ox, which represents, ox represents the strength, pardon me. And then you have the eagle as a swiftness. And we know how eagles fly swiftly. Okay? These are the operations of the chariots and the angels. Well, the chariots are operated by the holy angels. Okay? It says, thus were their faces and their wings were stretched upward, two wings of one every one joined one to another, and two covered their bodies. Okay? It says, and they went every one straight forward. Whether the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. So it said wherever the spirit was to go. So that's what that's them flying swiftly. They can go lateral. They can defy gravity. Okay, and he's gonna go into that. Let's go back to here. Well, in fact, when you keep going, I believe when you go to 17. I believe it's like 17. It says on how wherever the angels, this is a vision. Wherever the angels moved, that's where the chariots was moving. This is what Ezekiel seen in his vision. So it says when they went up their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for the rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. And you know what this is talking about? And their rings were full of eyes round about them. This is talking about um, the windows of the chariots. Okay, the eyes that's round about them. That goes into. Let's get Isaiah 60 and 8. Isaiah 60 and 8. Who are those that fly as a cloud? Oh, there we go, cloud again. A flying cloud. And as the doves to their windows. See? The doves to their windows. Okay? So meaning these are you know what, when you go into Revelation, the chariots have windows. Okay? Going to Revelation, it speaks about the sea of glass, and the elect was able to look down at the destruction. This is Revelation 15 and 2. And I saw as it were of a sea of glass mingled with fire. Why was it mingled with fire? Because the destruction took place. So the chariots is going to deliver the elect in through the midst of the fire. Okay? And them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over the image, which is the charagma, and over his mark. Well, I'm sorry, the image, which is this beast society going back to the Roman Empire. All right, now we're back again, and that image is the democracy. All right, that whole New World Order MO that these devils is trying to place the world upon. Okay, that image. Okay, and over his mark, which is the charagma, and over the number of his name, stand on a sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. So them being on the sea of glass, the hopeful elect, and I saw it as a sea of glass mingled with fire. They were looking through the chariot, okay, and they were rejoicing, okay. The harps of the Most High, they were rejoicing and crying that they were delivered, okay. See, these things already happened in the spirit. We're just playing these situations out, seeing that we see that all these UFO sightings and we see that they're making a sixth branch to the military. We know that we're getting very, very, very close for the Lord to come and destroy this place. Okay, well, the angels, I'm going to say the angels are in control of the destruction. Okay, so Ezekiel, where it says, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four, all right, is going into the chariots with the windows. Verse 19, and when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. That's the chariots. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. See, those are the chariots. Okay. Whether so the spirit was to go, they went thither, was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. So the spirit of the living creatures in the wheels is the chariots. The spirit of the living creatures is talking about the angels. So the angels empowers the vehicles, okay? The chariots. So you really think that Esau can capture a chariot when the chariot is empowered by the angels? Get the fuck out of here. Let's keep going on this. Where I'm at on time. Stop it at like 4. Okay, I ain't got too much long. So Salaki, if I'm talking too much, but I'm just trying to bring it out. Let's keep going.
So certainly something very perplexing. So perplexing, in fact, that we decided to go ahead and launch 2 of our F-18 aircraft, Super Hornets. And so as you had Commander Dave Fravor and Commander Alex Dietrich, this is Commander Dave Fravor, by the way, a Top Gun graduate and instructor. These people are trained to identify and determine the difference between an Su-22, a MiG-25, and a F-16 from 20 miles away. And by the way, make a decision to shoot it down if necessary. So they get vectored to the area, and the first thing they notice is some water roiling on the ocean. And so Dave decides, being the kind of pilot that he is, he's going to go in and take a look at this. So he conducts a very, very evasive maneuver to get down and close to what he describes as this white, looks like a tic tac, literally like the breath mint. and it's about 40 feet long. There's no windows, no real wings or control surfaces, no obvious signs of propulsion.
A Tic Tac 40
this
feet long.
object is witnessed now by 4 separate individuals in 2 separate aircraft, bouncing back and forth almost like a ping pong ball right over the surface of the water. So as he goes down and
that's the appearance of the eagle, the
all of a
swiftness.
sudden this thing begins to react to Commander Fravers' evasive maneuvers, and it really, as Commander Fravers coming in for a better look, this thing begins to maintain its distance and almost parlay, if you will, and keep a distance from this aircraft. So that tells us, first of all, it's intelligently controlled. And so as he decides this time, okay, I'm not getting anywhere here. I'm just going to go.
You see how through the Spirit we said that, beginning of our apostles, the breakdown, the understanding of when it says the appearance of man, it goes into he said himself. He said this is some type of intelligence. The angels know. He gonna explain something real quick.
Go aggressively and go for this thing. Full throttle goes in, and if you will, for that quote unquote kill to see what this thing is, and all of a sudden, like that, it's gone. It absolutely disappears over the horizon within about a second. Now, what's even more scary, which is in about 5 seconds afterwards, and we know this conclusively, we did the investigation. This object now is picked up once again on radar 60 miles away. And in fact, it is now at the rendezvous point waiting for them. And that rendezvous point, by the way, is a point that nobody knew other than the pilots where they were supposed to be. So somehow this not only anticipated their next move, but was able to get literally 60 miles. You can do the calculations if you want how fast that is.
That's the appearance of man. That's that intelligence of the angels. Okay? They knew, the angels who knew that this was their rendezvous point, and it's fucking with them. Really, what it is the angels is fucking with them. At the end of the day, that's the intelligence of the angels, man. Get to a point where they agreed to meet up at, and no one knew besides the pilots. Come on, man. Esau can't fuck with this, man. Esau, do all the studies, the research, the investigations, the subcommittees, the Project Blue, what is it called? Project Blue Book, do all of that and all of that surveillance and things of that nature. You can do the Space Force, the Space Force 6th military branch, and you are not going to be able to stop your Yahweh Shem Al Shai, man. Right along with the Holy Angels. There ain't no way in hell.
In 5 seconds. So something certainly well beyond our capabilities even today. Hypersonic velocity, instantaneous acceleration, and whatnot. And that's Dave Fravers.
Instantaneous acceleration. See, that's what the scripture speaks about, and how wherever the Spirit wants it to go, it'll move swiftly. Okay, it says, when they went, verse 17, when they went up there for a size, and they turned not when they went. As for the rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up, the earth, the wheels were lifted up. So they can move however they want to maneuver. Okay? They can move however they want to move. See. Okay. So I want to say
that is Commander Dave Fravor.
I want to say it is some more on here. Fuck it. I'll put it in the description box. I don't want to make this too long. I want to get into these last few precepts. So let's jump to the title of the lesson, Zechariah, the 5th chapter. Okay. And look, they now this says a flying scroll. When I was looking up into this, they was given some of the names that they called it throughout the years, which I believe I read. If I read them to you guys. Okay, here it is. They call them unidentified flying objects or flying roll, a UFO, flying saucers, okay, extraterrestrial biological entities, and Aquarius, okay. So they got these flying saucers, unidentified flying objects, UFO, so on and so forth. And when you go into the scriptures, we see the flying scroll. Okay, this is the best depiction that Ezekiel, that Zechariah could basically write down. I see a flying roll, okay, which is a chariot. Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. And I'm 100% sure the measurements of then is way different now. Okay. It says, well, he said he's seen it looked like a tic tac, a 40-foot tic tac. It says, then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. See? And when you go into Isaiah, what is that? Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, it goes into how it was a graven image that you couldn't see whether the beginning or the ending. Okay, so this is how massive this is going to be. This is the curse that goeth forth. This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, because it's going to destroy it. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side, according to it. And Deuteronomy says, he that stealeth and killeth a man and shall be found in his hand shall be utterly put to death. That's Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? He stole the Israelites. Okay? He took us from one end of the earth and brought us into captivity on a whole nother end of the earth. He stole us. Okay? For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And we know these is two characteristics of the devil, which is the so-called white man, the Edomites, stealing and swearing. Okay? They swear in on the Bible. They uphold none of the laws, statutes, commandments. Okay? They swear against the Most High. They curse the Most High. Okay? It says, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. And this is why it's so fascinated with New York and D.C. and in the cities of America. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Who's the house of the thief? All right? I ain't even gotta say it. Who's the house of the what's the house of the thief? Come on, man. It's America, man. And in the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. See? And the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, lift up now thine eyes and see what is this goeth forth. Okay? And that's I'm gonna leave it right there. It says, and it shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof, which is the beam that's gonna come up out of the chariots. Right? It's the beam that's gonna come up out of it. Right along with the thermonuclear missiles. Let's get Isaiah 11. And I think I'm gonna close out in here. Lord, when I can make a part 2. I got a lot of part 2s that I gotta do. You don't want to make the lessons too long. Yeah, I'm at 54 minutes. So I'm going to close out after this. This is Isaiah 11:4. It says, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. Okay? And this is Yahushua coming back and destroying America. You go into Revelations, the 13th chapter. And that's gonna I'm gonna begin it. I'm gonna end it here, but I'm gonna begin it with Revelations 13 on my part 2, because this goes direct with Second Ezra 13. Okay, I said Revelations 13. Pardon me. Second Ezra the 13th chapter. This goes right with it. But with the righteousness shall he judge the poor and reprove the and prove the equity of the meek of the earth, and he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And that's those beams that's going to come out of the chariots, man. Okay? So, pretty much that's it. No surveillance and no research is going to be able to get you to stop the chariots. You're not going to be able to understand them. The closest understanding you're going to get is watching the prophets. All right? So, with that, I'd like to give all glory and honor and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak, Kodash, Brakathum, double to my apostle, great millstone. Salutations to the icon of four corners, pushing his truth and all sincerity, love, diligence, respect, fear, and trembling, a Baba Ball.